Once upon a time, three ambitious friends, James, Michael, and Daniel, dreamed of becoming wealthy by starting their own businesses. They all shared the same goal of financial success, but had different perspectives on how to achieve it. Their differing opinions led them to part ways, each embarking on his own entrepreneurial journey. James, eager to make a grand entrance into the business world, took out a massive loan and built an extravagant office building in the heart of the city. He believed that a strong physical presence would establish credibility and attract high-paying clients. His company quickly became well-known, and people admired his luxurious workspace and well-furnished interiors. Michael, on the other hand, believed that a business was only as strong as its workforce. He took an even bigger loan, hiring a large team of employees from the start. He wanted to scale his business quickly, investing in marketing, sales, and customer service. With a full team supporting him, his business expanded rapidly, and he, too, gained success and recognition. Meanwhile, Daniel took a more cautious approach. Instead of seeking massive loans, he borrowed only a small amount and invested it in stocks. He also rented a modest house, which he used both as a living space and an office. Unlike his friends, he did not hire any employees. He handled everything on his own, from management to customer service. He believed in building his business slowly and methodically, focusing on long-term stability rather than immediate profits. 6 months passed, and James and Michael were thriving. Their businesses were generating high revenues, and their luxurious lifestyles reflected their newfound success. They often met to celebrate their achievements, discussing their rapid growth and their bright futures. Meanwhile, Daniel was struggling. His investments had not yet yielded significant returns, and his small business was barely making ends meet. He worked tirelessly day and night, but progress was slow. Concerned for their friend, James and Michael visited Daniel and urged him to reconsider his strategy. "Bro, know when to ask for help," James said. "Investing money is a waste of time. You're making things harder for yourself." Michael nodded in agreement. "Let us help you. We've already figured out the way to success, but your stubborn ego won't let you take our advice." Daniel, however, remained firm in his beliefs. "I appreciate your concern, but I have a different vision. Success isn't just about growing fast, it's about growing strong." His friends shook their heads in disappointment, convinced that he was making a mistake. Years passed, and the tides began to turn. At first, James and Michael enjoyed immense wealth, but soon their businesses started facing serious challenges. The high loans they had taken out became increasingly difficult to manage. Interest rates piled up, and taxes to the government became a heavy burden. Their businesses had expanded too quickly, and they struggled to keep up with their expenses. Eventually, the weight of debt became too much, and both companies collapsed under financial pressure. One day, as they reflected on their failure, James turned to Michael and said, "We failed. Our businesses are gone. But at least we know Daniel must be even worse off than us. Let's go check on him." Michael agreed, and they made their way to the small house where Daniel had started his business. However, when they arrived, they were in for a shock. Instead of a tiny rented house, they stood before a massive corporate building with a grand entrance, bustling employees, and a well-established brand. "What are we seeing? Are we dreaming?" James gasped in disbelief. Michael could hardly believe his eyes. "How is this possible? He started with so little." Just then, Daniel stepped out of the office, now a confident and successful businessman. He smiled as he approached his old friends. "Surprised to see me?" he asked playfully. James stammered, "Ha ha ha ha, how did you do this?" Daniel chuckled and said, "It's simple. Long-term success is built with good strategy and patience, not overnight riches. While you were focused on rapid expansion, I focused on stability. I reinvested my profits, grew at a sustainable pace, and avoided the trap of overwhelming debt. Small, steady progress leads to real wealth. James and Michael exchanged glances, realizing their mistakes. They had been too focused on short-term gains, while Daniel had built a foundation for lasting success. They learned an important lesson that day. True wealth isn't about how quickly you rise, but how well you sustain your success over time. With newfound respect for their friend, James and Michael asked Daniel for guidance, and he gladly offered them advice. Their friendship was rekindled, and together they embarked on a new journey, one built on patience, strategy, and the wisdom they had gained from their past mistakes.